What's going on, Bug Beats Radio? We're gonna be doing another tier list today for one of our favorite bands, and we also have a special guest,
Sid.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, today we're doing the Deftones Discography review tier list.
So where does Deftones rank in your guys' all-time favorite bands?
They're one of my personal favorites of all time. I listen to them every day, and I really like these guys just in particular. It's rare to find artists, let alone bands, who do not have a single miss of a song. All of their songs are so solid. They have not put out a single bad song. It's all quality music. I have other favorite bands like Linkin Park, and Linkin Park has put out some garbage before. We can all agree on that.
Definitely.
And they're still probably my most favorite band of all time. But I have Deftones up there too, and I have to be honest, out of all the bands I listen to, only Deftones, System of a Down, only they have a discography that's
that
only
perfect
bangers.
track record.
Exactly.
I honestly could agree with that. There's probably one or two songs you can maybe point to, but they're very consistent throughout their entire career.
Yeah, I've always kind of thought
and they've
that,
always reinvented themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I watched some I think it was Anthony Fantano reviewing Ohms, and he was this is a terrible album, but it meets the quality that Deftones fans are looking for, and I was well, I'm a Deftones fan, and it absolutely meets the quality that I'm looking for, just all their other shit.
Yeah.
I don't think Anthony Fantano is a metalhead who just freaking head nod like that.
I certainly don't care what he thinks about it. Anyway,
Yep.
His
opinion won't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Let's
first,
start.
We're reviewing Deftones, not Death Grips.
All right. So the first album, their 1995, right, debut, Adrenaline. This is freaking the most hype, in your face, freaking banger.
Mosh.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's definitely the most new metal. It's got a little bit of almost rap in there. I mean, not quite, but
You could see all the early influence. You could see how you could see some of Korn's debut album, similar to this in a way.
It was they totally saw that album and were we can make our own album.
yeah, exactly. But the Sacramento version.
Exactly.
7 words on here is a fucking absolute highlight.
Yeah,
Bored as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bored.
Personally, my favorite song in here is For Real. For Real,
Yes.
Fireal.
Yeah, it's a banger.
I love that song.
That one is a banger. For me, my favorites are definitely Bored and probably
7 words too, probably.
7 Words is a banger. Also, fucking Engine Number 9.
Facts.
And
Engine Number 9 is so good.
And Root.
Root is amazing. Every song on here is amazing.
Yeah, this has got to be at least A tier for me. I'm petitioning for S tier.
I prefer. I'd say A tier because
bottom of S
I'd
tier.
say A tier because when you look at the overall scope of their discography, they're a lot more there's overall sound is kind of more immature on Adrenaline. It's not as developed as it is on some of their prime albums.
That's
but
very
it's
true.
still for a debut, it couldn't be better. Honestly, it's good.
It's a really good and representative debut. It's not representative of what would be to come, but it's definitely representative of how hard the riffs will go.
Yeah, I'd say the production can be a little bit shabby in some of the songs because of on the time it came out too. But it's also
I think that's what gives it gives edge that in later albums.
I do also think it lays a foundation for their kind of more shoegaze elements in later albums. So
definitely,
I put it in A tier.
I was thinking B, but I totally think A is fine.
I want S so we can all compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got a freaking.
S, not even a question.
We got
just put it there right now.
Around the Fur. So S tier.
Yeah,
bro.
This is my favorite.
This is a benchmark for this entire genre and just
That's
alternative metal. This is
and kind of just
it's really freaking good.
If you're into alternative music, you've heard this album and you probably fuck with it.
People don't look fondly upon the late '90s to early 2000s era of rock music, but then if they look, if they do look, a lot of people don't. We do. I know. I get it. But there's people like Anthony Fantano who always talk about how cringe that era was.
Yeah.
So
new metal. I will say that when you look at when people always talk about albums that they are look fondly upon or look really nicely upon from this era, Around the Fur is always in their top 3 albums.
It's also like the album cover itself has to be like the most iconic Deftones album cover.
I'm not sure if you guys can see it.
Yeah,
it's right there.
It's right here. Around the Fur. Yeah, it's a freaking S tier, guys.
Yeah, I mean every song on the album I thoroughly enjoy. I think Mascara is a little cringe, but every other song I'm like this shit goes hard as fuck.
Yeah, it's banger after banger other than Mascara, but that's still a chill song.
Yeah, there's like not other than Mascara, every single song on Around the Fur is a highlight.
I'm kind of indifferent about Lotion. I don't know, maybe you guys really fuck with
I like Lotion.
Yeah.
It's
my personal highlights for me are Die the Flu, Be Quiet and
That's
Drive.
a good one.
Of course, My Own Summer, one of the most iconic songs of the 90s. And then also probably Rickets and Head Up as well.
Yeah.
All bangers.
I was going to say like pretty much that and then MX as well as like...
Although, let's be real, like first time y'all heard The Moan, it probably scared the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew how long it was, but still, I mean... it's just awesome.
Yeah,
like,
it's so cool.
Like I think S tier just for
I have the little
the big riff,
the phone call shit stuck in my head all the time, like singing it to myself. I remember walking to class.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up, we've got a freaking another banger.
Another amazing album.
We got White Pony from the year 2000. This is personally my favorite Deftones album.
This is also my personal
probably
favorite.
a normie take, but like you just have like absolute freaking highlight classic.
Every single song.
Every song is really freaking good.
Like the worst. I'll say the worst song on this is Teenager, but even that is an absolute.
It's still really good. Yeah,
it's still really good.
Like literally, I would say the songs range from like 8 out of 10 being like maybe like Teenager, or like Fate, Sierra.
I feel like Teenager also like kind of lays a bigger foundation for more shoegaze that you see later in their discography.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan of Pink Maggot either. Like I like that one. It goes hard, but it's not one of my favorites.
I'm actually a huge.
It's pretty.
I know you are. Okay, but
I feel like because I mean what a lot of people don't know is that like the band themselves actually hate Back to School because originally the album started with Fate to Sarah, but Fate to Sarah is one of the best songs on the album, by the way, in my opinion, but. They actually hate Back to School because originally like that whole like the lines in that song were actually they're from Pink Maggot, like as you can see.
Yeah. It was kind of weird that they like repeated that. I mean,
Pink Maggot
for the beginning and end.
I think Pink Maggot is a really good song, but the absolute highlights in this album definitely are
Digital Bath,
Passenger. Maynard on Passenger.
Like objectively,
Passenger is my favorite Deftones song, but this album is probably fourth place for me.
I was gonna say
as famous as a song changes, it's like still such like. It's still such a big banger.
It's still
like,
objectively like a high 9, like to a 10 out of 10 song.
The bass line on
like, as long as you
is
don't
like just insane.
Think about TikTok.
Yeah. No, and then there's also Knife Party.
Yeah, Knife Party and RX Queen.
RX Queen, Streetcar.
We're just naming the whole freaking album list.
Yeah, let's put the shit.
Put it in an S.
It's the easiest S tier.
I think people also forget that Elite won the Grammy Award for Best Metal Performance.
That
year.
Yes.
Elite is not even a standout track on the album.
Grammy winners, Deftones right here.
Yeah, I would put Around the Fur above it though personally.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Both are both are incredibly iconic.
I guess we'll put Around the Fur above. But
fair, yeah.
Deftones, self-titled, and a lot of people have mixed opinions on this album.
Because its predecessor was White Pony. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, it's so hard to like transcend like an album that's so transcending as White Pony is, because it's just like it's like a magnum opus kind of thing. But like this album has some freaking bangers. Like Deftones never fails to deliver.
Yeah,
like seriously.
Yeah, there's some the riff.
Like the album starts out with
Needles
highlights and highlights.
And the riffs on Needle and
Chino's vocals on Minerva, man.
The vocals on Minerva and Hexagram.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, some of the scripts in Hexagram is like different. And
the production on When Girls Telephone Boys is really
good. And that whole song just like it's very emotional. It's really cool.
Although personally, like it's a really underrated album, but it doesn't measure up to the
No.
previous three here.
No.
Yeah, I want to put it.
I feel like
I would put it in A- if there was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
here.
me too.
Yeah.
I would
Or
say
like B+.
bottom of A tier
I think-
or top of B.
I was
Yeah.
definitely shooting for like B for this album.
Well, I mean, I'll say B because it's not. It's adrenaline. I think I'd have Adrenaline way above it. I can't.
Yeah,
lie.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
B.
Because it's like it's a great album, so I feel bad putting it in B. But like this
Yeah.
is. In
I mean, but B is really good though. Like,
B is good,
because
and this is within the realm of Deftones.
Yes.
Not like music as a whole. So I think B is a good spot.
Yeah, B's a good spot
Yeah.
for the self-titled.
it's definitely like probably middle of the pack.
It's a lot more
Definitely
mellow
not.
than the previous three as well.
Yeah.
It's
mean,
really good for
Well,
what
it,
it is.
it depends on what.
I feel like there are
what's
some
on
freaking bangers on
Yeah,
it too,
there
but
are,
the
yeah.
ending gets a lot more chill.
Yeah.
All right, next up we've got
Saturday Night Wrist.
Saturday Night Wrist, the freaking Moaning Girl album.
There's also like a big eye you can see there, just looking up.
That is
Oh, I've never noticed that.
I
No,
know.
it took me a while to notice that. Yeah,
That's really cool.
nice album cover though.
Very
so.
cool
What do you
album
guys think about Saturday Night Wrist?
I like it, but I like it. The only song that stands out from this album that I think I like, that I constantly like, damn, I want to listen to this song, is Beware. I really like that song.
Beware is so
And
fucking
and
good.
like there's some other good songs on here. Don't get me wrong. Like we mentioned Hole in the Earth, as well as
Cherry Waves is obviously a
and
banger.
Kim Dracula.
Yes.
And yeah, those are a couple ones and a few. So all songs that I really like, but all songs that are just like, oh, this is a Deftones song. Like,
yeah,
I like Deftones,
I feel like
this
it
song,
definitely suffers from like a little bit of like it feels like a bit samey, like when you're listening to it as like a whole.
Especially I think like, not to be that guy, but I do think like what's the name, like ULD something select start. I
Yeah.
think that song is like, it's an
It's
okay,
okay.
interlude. It's nothing too special.
I mean-
and also like, y'all like, what the fuck is like Pink Cell Phone?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
What man?
we don't even need to talk about that one.
y'all know.
So
If you
yeah,
heard it, you know.
If you heard it, you know exactly.
this is a strong contender for
No.
either C tier or D tier. in my
Oh,
opinion.
really?
No. I think okay. No, I'll put
I
it
think
at bottom
it's-
of B.
Yeah,
Bottom of
I was
B.
gonna say.
Yeah.
The highlights on here are really good.
Yeah.
Hole in the Earth and like Cherry Waves and Kim Dracula and Mine. The Surge's feature on Mine is like insane.
Okay, yeah, that
having
is.
Surge.
Having Surge on that song was incredible.
That is
Yes.
fucking sick, but like
Yes, I think B
But
for
even
that.
even the bangers like Cherry Waves, everyone loves that song. I don't know why. I don't like it that much. Kim Dracula is great, but it doesn't even really compare to like any of the songs on any of the top three. In my opinion, like. I don't know, but yeah, we could do B tier,
But
but
I put it below self-titled. Honestly.
Yeah.
Definitely below
Self-titled.
self-titled.
There's no way it's above
Self-titled.
subtitle.
Subtitle is a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, for what it is, I mean, Saturday Night Wrist is a pretty good album, but compared, it's honestly out of what we've rated so far, I'd say it's easily their weakest. Like in this, what we've put.
Yeah,
It's,
I'm
it
not
suffers
certain of that.
from
No.
being like in Deftones discography. If
It also
was in
suffers
like
from, like,
another
a-
band's discography,
It also does
it'd be a
suffer
lot
from.
better.
No,
Yeah,
that's really
it
true.
suffers from like Chino himself was saying like it was a dark period for him and the
Yeah.
band, so they hate
Yeah,
this album
this
too.
was just after his
His divorce,
yeah.
right.
And that
No,
too.
this was before Chi Cheng.
Oh,
This
it was?
It was Chino was just going through a really rough divorce, and I think he was in rehab and everything. So
Yeah, that is rough.
yeah, but then yeah,
It's still
that's
a good
Saturday Night
album,
Wrist.
guys.
Yeah.
All right, so next we got Diamond Eyes, the Owl album.
What an album cover too! Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a great album cover. Like I mean, it's iconic.
It is really cool.
This song has so many like this album has so many bangers. Like everything from Sex Tape to if you listen to the
Diamond Eyes.
deluxe, if you listen to the deluxe version, there's a song called Do You Believe that's incredible.
Yeah,
we just listened to it, and it was definitely a freaking
That
amazing
was really
song.
hard. I love
Like,
Royal too.
The
Like, why
Ghosts
didn't-
cover is incredible.
Why didn't
Yeah.
they put that song on like the original freaking
I
Diamond
know,
Eyes?
right?
Like it would have made it a lot better.
Yeah. Risk and Command Control are
And the
bangers.
the title track too.
That's
is
why I
title
said,
track
yeah,
too,
it's one of the best fucking songs on there.
Beauty School. I love
Oh
that
yeah,
song.
I love Beauty School. I totally
Risk,
forgot about that one. Yeah,
Royal, yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like blown
Command
when I
Control.
first listened
The
to this
bass on
album.
Sex
I was
Tape.
like blown away by like how many freaking good songs there were. Like it was just really solid.
yeah.
really
This is
solid
a
album.
great
Honestly,
album.
yeah.
I still think it's B tier.
I
Yeah.
think it's
It could be. I could see an A, but
no, I see. I would put it at the bottom of A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's on the same tier.
The bass work is
personally.
incredible on this.
Yeah,
album.
you know what?
I
agree. I like Adrenaline a lot more, but
I'll put it below Adrenaline.
Yeah, no, I would put it below Adrenaline too.
Like it's similar. It's like really close to Adrenaline. Like it's a really solid album.
But I mean, they're really different.
What makes me appreciate it more is that I'd say it was an improvement over Saturday Night Wrist.
It's way. I like it like 100 times more than Saturday Night Wrist personally. Yeah. There's a large gap between.
I revisit Diamond Eyes a lot. It's a quality.
No, I do. I really do. But yeah.
But it doesn't measure up to the two above it. You know.
Definitely not. Definitely not their absolute.
However, the next album on the other
definitely could be contending.
This is probably my favorite Deftones album right now. It's between this one and Around the Fur. It always is.
This album, by the way, guys, is called Koi no Yokan.
Yeah, Koi no Yokan is like probably peak late Deftones, like peak post like White Pony Deftones.
Yeah, what is it?
It's there 2012.
2012.
So around I think 2 to 3 years after Diamond Eyes.
Yeah, so like I feel like what makes this album so freaking great and so stand out is that like it's able to capture like the ethereal moments of Diamond Eyes, and it's also able to capture the heavy freaking bangers of
Swerve City,
of like the self-titled and Saturday Night Wrist.
Yeah, it really does. It really creates that like soft to hard like.
Yeah, there's like the sonic build-ups and the sonic changes and the songs are like so cool.
And I think
no,
like Rosemary, dude. This song.
I believe Koi no Yokan has the best production of all Deftones albums.
That's probably a fact.
Like if you're just talking about like. I love the production of Adrenaline just because of its edge.
It's rawness. It's like rawness, and you kind of like the unfinished factor. It's really well done.
It feels a lot more like punk.
Yeah,
whereas
post-hardcore.
Yeah. But this one I think has the technically the best, and like I enjoy it equally as much.
And every song is a banger.
Yeah, every single song is really good.
Like Swerve City, Romantic Dreams, Tempest, Rosemary, I think Tempest and Rosemary are the best songs on this album. But you also got Goon Squad. You got
there was one
Leathers.
I was listening to.
Leathers, yeah.
Entombed.
Entombed is
so good.
Oh my goodness. What happened to you? We're just naming the whole
Graphic
freaking
Nature and Gauze are also amazing.
Yeah, this is S tier for me, clearly. I would actually put it at the top of S tier.
Yeah, but you're crazy. So I think
I will say
I would personally put it at the lowest of the S tier. Personally,
what do
you think?
You're
a huge fan of this album, I know.
No, I personally speaking, it's number 2 to White Pony for me. But I just like in terms of we're also considering like iconicness here, right? Like. This is
including iconicness. It's the least iconic
of the S tier. It's the least iconic easily. Like you don't the most well known song on there is Rosemary, and people don't look at Rosemary like they do Change or something. You know.
Yeah,
but like as an album experience, it's probably the most consistent.
It's the one that
I think What Happened to You is a fantastic closer as well.
Yeah.
So the albums that I went through a very intense Deftones phase which these two know for a couple of years, like from like I don't know like 2020 to like 2023 maybe, and like so I'm kind of getting over it, and I'm trying not to listen to only Deftones. But so nowadays the albums that I really listen to all the time are mostly just Koi no Yokan and Adrenaline, and then like obviously some of the highlights of Around the Fur, but like and also the self-titled. I listen to Girls Telephone Boys and Needles and Pins a lot, but
also let's like reverse the order of those bottom images because the one on the right came before.
We'll just do it first.
Yeah. All right. So the next
up we've got the 2016 album Gore, one of the most probably
interesting.
It's interesting.
I feel like least interesting.
Yeah, or that. I was gonna say it was one of like. It probably received like the most negative.
Not just negative, feedback. But just like just in general, like the least attention out of all Deftones albums.
Yeah,
it just feels like they were like.
To me, it felt like they phoned it in. But like it's not like it's not like the quality was off.
Sometimes like it's not really memorable.
You could definitely probably go like your life without hearing a few of these songs again, but like
It's
Then
good.
again, it's good music.
It's good music.
Yes.
No.
If
It's
you,
not
like,
a bad. No
I
bad
could never.
songs.
Yeah, I'm like this is a great addition to their discography, but like it's also not like
It doesn't.
it's
I'm
make
going to-
that-
nothing really new.
I'm gonna
here.
I'm gonna be completely honest, and you guys might hate me for saying this, but all the tracks off Gore kind of feel like leftovers from Self-Titled and Saturday Night Wrist.
I could see that.
I was
honestly.
gonna say that they could go,
Or
it's,
just,
it's
like,
not
throughout
really, it
the
doesn't
years.
feel like a real experience.
There's not
listening
really
to it
any-
the way that
there's-
other ones are.
See, all the
Yes.
other
I do love some of the tracks like Phantom Bride as well as the title track as well as Prayers of Triangles.
Yeah, I do, my honest opinion about Gore is just like all the previous Deftones albums have like highlights that are up
like
there.
100%.
But
Like
Gore does not have any like.
there's no like
real
10 out of
highlights.
10 songs.
There's no
to
10
be
out of
honest.
10 songs exactly.
Yeah, and like it peaks at maybe like 7 or
Or
8
the
out of
Eight,
10.
eight or
Yeah.
9 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
8
think
out of
there's
10
even a
low-key.
9 that I could. Yeah,
Like
so
they
it's
don't really.
looking-
There's nothing that stands out on this album.
Yeah.
and it's not like there's like several like even like most of them range from 6 to 8, but
Yeah.
like it doesn't get much. It doesn't really get higher than that in my opinion.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I want to put it in C
I wanna
tier.
put it
Just
in
since
I
C
think
tier.
C is the best
Like
place to put this one for sure.
It's definitely not as good as.
It's the
top
least
one above it.
memorable, and like to be able or to have some, we need to have something in C, so
Yeah.
we're putting it here.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, final album, the most recent Deftones
It
album.
came out in 2020, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Pandemic.
Depending on when you're watching this, there might be a newer one, but there isn't
Probably
a
not.
recording of this video. They are recording a new album.
They
aren't
are.
Chino's finishing up his vocals on it, I believe.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Dude, new Deftones album is gonna be so cool.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
so
I know they're
excited.
touring
What?
right now, so it might be a little bit, but
Facts, we gotta go. We gotta go to Deftones.
yeah,
gotta go
dude,
see them.
Let's just hope
it's
those
gonna
resales are not too expensive.
Yeah, we gotta
They-
cop it before it's too
they
late.
are going
for
to be
sure.
too expensive. Let's be real.
This song or this album, I feel
Ohms,
like
by the way, in case you didn't know.
Like, yeah,
OHMS.
like I don't know. I feel like the last few songs were like insanely good. Like freaking peak Deftones.
Dude, yeah,
And,
Genesis is
in
one of
general-
my is a top 5 Deftones
Yeah,
song for me. Probably.
this is a really
top 10.
There's
I really like this album.
I will say, much significant improvement over Gore.
It was a
That's for sure.
significant
Way
improvement
better.
over
Way
Gore,
better than Gore.
and it was.
I
it's-
like it more than Gore.
I like it more than Saturday Night
Wrist,
Wrist,
yeah.
too.
I will say, like, I don't know how to compare it with Self-Titled because the sound is really different on both of them. Like,
they're like 15 years apart, you know.
I have to be honest about Ohms. Like, it's kind of they're kind of reverting back to their more aggressive sound on Ohms. Like, especially like, I'd say the sound it's most similar to might be like Diamond Eyes. Mainly because like if you go fully aggressive Deftones, you're talking about like Around the Fur and like White Pony, but
for sure.
like this is like a really big combo of like their older, more, I don't mean to say immature, but like aggressive, a much more aggressive sound versus like their much more mellow like shoegaze
Ethereal
quality.
sound,
Ethereal and shoegaze quality,
sure.
which is like you'll see on tracks like Headless and like Genesis as well. But yeah,
I would say like I like this album enough that like I could see it around here, but like it's definitely around
The
self-titled.
self-titled.
I could see it above
Like,
or below.
Like
I'll
like,
put it-
it could almost
Yeah.
maybe squeak in the A tier.
That's what I was
I have to. I say between Diamond Eyes and Self-Titled.
Deftones, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
that is. I think this is a freaking awesome Deftones.
Yeah,
tier list right here.
this is exactly like.
And y'all
this is what is
see
perfect.
not a
Respect.
single album below C. Like consistent quality music throughout their entire.
Yeah, I mean even then this is
TikTok would get D tier if we could like give TikTok
I
a tier.
just noticed this tier list forms an F.
Oh, that is really cool. Wow, that is.
maybe if we put it would be a perfect F if we put Diamond Eyes in D tier, but that's not happening.
Or if we
Nah.
put it'll be a perfect square if we put Gore in A tier.
Oh yeah.
Also not happening.
Yeah.
No,
No, we couldn't do that.
we couldn't
Could
do
not
that.
do that
It
to
would
my
be-
boy.
So, what do you guys think of our tier list? Did you guys think it was garbage? Did you guys think it was really good? Do you guys like Deftones? What's your favorite Deftones
Let us
album?
know. Let us
song?
know where you guys would put B-sides and rarities too. Put it
Yeah,
in the comments.
I would say it's above
And
Gore,
covers.
or maybe below Saturday Night Wrist. Personally, I listened to it today, but Yeah, and covers too. And also, tell us which band we should do a tier list for next. We're probably going to be doing
Tool.
We're definitely going to be doing Tool right now.
Now.
Yes, and we're going to be doing 9 Inch Nails pretty soon in the future too. So that would be really
we'd
fun.
love to do some if you
But
guys have
whatever
any
you guys want,
recommendations, especially
and genres too.
Yeah. Anything you think we might not have heard, anything niche, we'd
Yeah.
love to give us
100%.
something, a new listen.
We love new stuff.
Yeah. So give us a comment. We actually will check out new stuff. So
100%.
Yeah.
Or maybe even react to it live if you guys are super lucky.
yeah, that I would be so down. Anyway, we've got a Tool tier list to record.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna get to editing these videos so that they'll be up on YouTube, and you guys can enjoy them. Have a nice rest of your night, Bugs. Check out the Tool tier list
Join the clan.
and join Bug Encounters.
Subscribe.
Thank you, Sid.
Yep, for sure. And see you guys in the Tool video.
Yes.